Hello, it's been a while. My name's Ruth, aka Inky of Inkymakes. So I thought I would just record this quick intro to this video because a lot has changed since the last time I posted. Way back in I think it was the beginning of September that I posted, and I had every intention of posting every single month, and it's now January and I haven't posted anything else up on my YouTube. So one thing that has happened is that I've moved. Me and my partner have moved in with my parents back in my hometown, and I had mixed feelings about that, but it seems to be working out well. So yeah, I am currently sat in my little studio space, the garden shed. I know this isn't like an original tale. I know there's other people out there who've ended up moving back in with their parents, and then they kind of adopt a little space of their own to make that work. And that's what I'm doing, so hopefully I will be posting more up, but we'll just have to see how that pans out. That is the intention anyway, now that I'm very fortunate to be in a position where I'm not paying rent to my parents. My parents were very generous for that. I do help out. Obviously, me and my partner do help my parents. They're getting on a little bit now, and they need more help around the house. So it's nice for them to have us on hand, but it's also nice for us to not only be closer to family, but on a financial standpoint, it makes things a lot easier not having to have a huge outgoing, which is rent. So there's that, and I'm hoping from then on in, I'm just going to have lots more time for artwork. I think eventually I would like to step back from my day job. That's the idea. I think that's what all artists would like to do, just to become full-time artists. And I'm no different than anyone else in that case. So yeah, I'm just getting distracted. There's a blackbird right outside the window now. So it is really nice having my studio right in the bottom of the garden, and we live next to a dean as well, so we get badgers coming in to the garden and that kind of thing on a night, which is cool. I think it's probably going to be a lot of inspiration for my work. So yeah, I'm going to let you see the rest of the video that I'd filmed back in, I think it was August. This is how much filming I'd done and prepared to keep posting up, and I had stuff in the pipeline, and then just life happened. So I think it was August time, something like that. Went to go and visit a sunflower field, which you'll see. And I just thought that as much as that is not what it looks like outside now, it might be quite nice for people to still see that and not to waste all the effort that me and my partner had put into this so far. So yeah, let me know what you think. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Right, so I'm going to show you what I've bought today. I've just got a few bits and pieces. I went to B&M, and I didn't actually buy that much from B&M, because usually when I go into B&M, I just go a bit mad and I can end up spending so much money. But this time I was very good. So I bought a few little treats. Bought feather dancer, particularly for Dill, because she goes absolutely bananas for a feather dancer, and she shreds them. There's just feathers everywhere. And I didn't forget about myself, because you've got to be good to yourself as well. Treat yourself with the fries raspberry creams, because I never see these in any normal supermarkets. I only ever see them in places like B&M where like they have like all these like random yummy candies, stuff that you just don't normally get in Tesco's or whatever over here. So that was the treats out of the way, and the real point of business for this shopping trip was to buy some frames, because I've got like absolutely loads of artwork from artists that like I just absolutely adore, and like it's just sitting around gathering dust when really they need to go up on the wall. So I bought some frames, and the first ones I got were from Dunelm Mill, and they were like £3 each, but they're just plastic, like, so I don't really think that's like probably very good value for money. I don't know, like, so then I went to my local charity superstore, which I absolutely love. I could spend so much time in there just looking at random tat. And I bought these frames. Now, there was this one, which doesn't have any glass in it, unfortunately. But I'm sure I could get like either another piece of glass or a thin piece of plastic or something to go over whatever I put in it. But it's like really chunky, like I think it's like pretty good quality. So I got that one, and I got this one as well. Obviously all the pictures are going to get taken out of them, because that's the whole point of buying these, to reframe my own stuff. Again, wood, it feels like good quality. And then I got this one as well, like a smaller one, which I just thought was a little bit quirky with the joints on there. But all those three were like £1, which, you know, you can't really go wrong for that. So I was very happy with that. And I did also get some Ronseal garden paint, because I've got a little hedgehog house that I bought from a local carpenter, and it's so cute and it's really well made, but it hasn't been treated with anything, so I really want to like paint it up and make it like super cute for any little hedgy boys that might be coming into the garden looking for a home. So yeah, that's it. That's everything that I bought today. Didn't do too badly. That wasn't everything I got today. It was a total lie. I also got this little fella. Isn't he amazing? I don't know, is he amazing? I don't know why I bought him, but I thought it would make like a really cute sort of repaint job. And I'm really looking forward to Bear and Breakfast coming out on the Switch, which should be soon. Don't think it's already out, it should be soon. But yeah, I might do some sort of like Bear and Breakfast inspired repaint, like maybe put a little flannel shirt on him or something. So yeah, I'll probably show that on another video. There we go. That is everything for today. Hello there, this is VoiceOver Inky, and I thought I would just give you a bit more information about this painting that I'm doing. It's really weird looking at this, because as I mentioned in the intro, this was done so long ago, so very long ago. But it's nice to have a look at your stuff, and I think it gives you an idea of how far you've come, because I originally wanted to do this painting because I tend to get more attracted towards animal characters, and I thought it would be really good to do something a bit more like human. But at the time I was also sort of speaking to my mum about painting ideas, and she really likes sort of fairy imagery. Now I'm not really into that, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to challenge myself and try and make a subject that I wouldn't normally enjoy my own, and this is what I came up with. And it kind of like reminded me a bit of Fern Gully and watching that film as I was growing up, and I think it's got kind of more of a pagan vibe to it rather than like a cutie. I mean, it is cute, little caterpillar dude, like, you know, definitely cute, but it's a little bit, I don't know, strange. So yeah, like, I think looking at it now, I maybe would do it differently.
But this kind of reminds me as well that like recently I've kind of fallen into a bit of a social media rabbit hole, and perhaps, I don't know, like started to do that bad thing of comparing myself to other artists. Now, I think that's probably one of the worst things you can do, especially when you're first starting out, because you just feel like, oh, I don't like my work, it's not the way I want it to look. But I think it was Tom Froese said on Skillshare, it might have been somebody else, but it was definitely when I was going through a bit of a research phase of wanting to find my style. I hate this subject because it's like, I think it's just a journey, you're always sort of evolving, but I think as a lot of artists can kind of, including myself, can get a little bit too caught up with what your style is, and I don't think it's really that important. I think you just need to do the work, and style sort of just follows. But anyway, the gist of this quote was, when you're first looking at developing your own style, you can kind of oscillate between emulating other artists too much, and then it ends up not being like your work, and then essentially you're just copying, rather than sort of being inspired. And then on the flip side, it's like when you're actually trying to, you're achieving something new, you start feeling uncomfortable and like out of your depth and being a bit like, oh, I don't like this, I don't, but that's actually when you're finding your style. So I'm trying to not think too much about those feelings of, I don't like what I'm doing. I'm just going to kind of roll with it and see where it takes me. But yeah, I was really happy with this. I thought it turned out well. I've got little visitors here. This happens every time. I mean, I think I've mentioned this in my last video about the cats. It's like, as soon as they know that you're pointing your attention at something else, they just appear. So if I suddenly there's a crash or something, you might be able to hear Dylan pootling about in the background here. So naughty, so naughty. Right, cat has been removed from the desk. So determined to get in on the act, they just love it. Naughty babies. And as you'll see, rescue's exactly the same. Yeah, I think if I had any sort of advice to anyone out there who's just kind of like starting out on the art journey, like, or trying to make a side hustle, a day hustle, I would just say, like, simply be kind to yourself. I mean, I have to consciously remind myself of this, like, to sort of treat myself as if I'm talking to a friend. It sounds so cheesy, but it's so true. I think we are our biggest critics, and we can be really hard on ourselves. And yeah, you just need to stop doing that. And that's a note to self, stop doing that. Be kinder to yourself. I think as well what I tend to do is like try to be conscious of that, like when I'm starting to feel those, if I'm perfectly honest, those sort of green-eyed monster feelings of like, oh, I wished I was like them, or oh, why am I not on that, and just start a bit of a pity party. But I think those feelings are valid, you know, like I think that's actually important to recognize that and be like, you know what, actually, it's just because I really want to do this thing, like whatever it is, like, be it become a full-time artist, or I don't know, just bake the world's best banana bread, like whatever it is that you're feeling like you really want to do, just don't compare yourself to other people too much, because your journey is unique to you. And I'm saying all of this and it sounds very like, I don't know, probably a bit cheesy and cliched, but it's like I'm essentially talking to myself here. Because, you know, like this whole YouTube thing is kind of strange, because I'm sat here in a room, sat speaking into the void essentially. And some people might hear this, and a lot of people aren't going to hear this. But this means a lot to me. So, and I think it probably mean a lot to some other people out there. And if it helps one other person, then great. But I'd love to hear what people have got to say on these things. Like, how do you deal with that green-eyed monster? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you try to, like, you know, get rid of it completely? Like, can you get rid of it completely? I don't think it is possible to get rid of it completely. Like, we are humans after all, and we're made up of feelings, and it just happens. It's spontaneous. I think as well for me, when I do feel like that, I try not to. I definitely, when I'm actually working, I like to have YouTube on in the background, and I tend to find if I'm feeling like I'm beating myself up about my work too much, I like to watch something completely different, like still creative, but like just not somebody else painting, not somebody else drawing, because I just find myself being influenced too much. And I think that's why I really love watching cookery videos on YouTube. I watch a lot of cookery channels, people just shopping in supermarkets, that kind of thing. That's my cozy place. Like, I love watching stuff like that. Probably because I'm incredibly nosy and like to see what's going on in other people's lives. But it's interesting. I find it interesting, and it is still like creative. Like, cookery is definitely still creative. But it's nice to like be influenced by other people's creativity, but without, I don't know, sort of it crippling me, if that makes sense. I'm looking back over this banana bread now as well, and it's like, it's so vivid in my mind, that smell of fresh, warm banana bread. That is definitely a comfy feeling, and I definitely need to make some more of this soon. Another nice thing about looking back at this video is seeing all the like sunflowers and how much nicer the weather was. Like, it's like every year I do exactly the same thing. I sort of surprise myself with the changing of the seasons. It's like, Ruth, come on, it's the same thing every year. Like, winter comes after autumn, spring comes after winter, like seasons change, surprise, surprise. But every year, without fail, I'm like, oh my god, it's getting dark quick, isn't it? Like, and oh my god, it's so cold. Like, it's like I must have really short sort of memory span when it comes to like weather and stuff. But yeah, it's nice to see that, yes, there is going to be nice weather again, and the flowers are going to come out, and it's going to be lighter mornings and longer days. And don't get me wrong, I do actually quite like winter for that coziness, like getting all warm and toasty inside the house. But it's a bit of a bugger, excuse my language, when you're trying to do pottery and stuff, because I've got this little shed space now, and I'm having to like get wrapped up and look something like the Michelin Man to go and do some throwing in the shed. But actually it's working out alright. It's working out alright. Like the really heavy frost that we're having at the moment hasn't stopped me yet, so we'll see. But I am looking forward to some nicer weather and looking ahead, basically. I think as well, winter, it's easy to get a little bit depressed and feel down and not want to get up and be motivated, and it's definitely there's I think you should listen to those feelings, like, and cut yourself some slack. But it's also nice to have something to look forward to, and remember that these periods of lowness, for the want of a better word, feeling down, there will be happier times and cheerier times, because I think I do have a habit of putting too much pressure on myself and like being like, don't be lazy, and like, why aren't you doing stuff? And especially when you're first starting out a new business, it's like go 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 go, and I kind of forget to have some downtime. Let me know if you've got any questions. I'm really interested to know what other people are up to. Like I've already said, I'm quite nosy. I'd like to know what other people are up to. And what is your like cozy go-to during winter? Like what gets you through the long nights and the short days? What helps you remain productive, or what do you do to chill? And you know, what plans have you got for next year? So yeah, I'll leave it there until next time. See you later. Bye.